Oh, there we go. Man, I fucking lost this damn pen on my jacket. That annoys me. All right. Crying out blue blue for that. Gotta go by the blue. Oh, it's huge. Oh wait, where's that? There you are. There we go. There we go. Lazy dog. It's hanging out in the kitchen. Just doesn't want to like get out of there now. It's just hanging out in there. Just a weirdo. Just a weird little bang. Don't be falling out of my hands like that. Hang out for an hour a little bit, then do a little karaoke adventure time and stuff. A little bada bing bada boom. Let's finally got some good news too, at least. Finally found out where the boss man of the pub I want to go to actually is like in now. When it comes to at least available to chit chat and talk. So that's finally some decent news. It's just at times where I don't really like the timing. It's like 8 in the morning to like noon. And I'm like, I guess I have to wake up early and then to get a coffee on my way up there or something, because that will suck a little bit, but whatever. But also I have to wait until like the Monday through Friday, week again, so I have to wait some more. But I guess he was there still a little bit on his way out, so at least the bartender I was talking to, because she already knew me and she knows me and stuff. She let me know that she was going to at least forward that info to him. So that's at least good. Finally, at least something, instead of like, I don't know when he's coming up and blah, 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 blah. So that's good. That's some good shit. Oh yeah, I forgot this lighter's like almost out. Overdrafted and got a half ounce. Well, at least you got something, I suppose. It's $45. Yeah, well, that's something, right? God fucking damn it! Is this lighter really out already? Really didn't have to. I really don't want to have to use these stupid things, but whatever. I guess I'm stuck. I'm stuck with them now. There we go. Cool. Man, I wish there were the like fucking wooden ones, because these suck. There we go. Tastes like fresh laundry smells. That's either a good thing or a bad thing. That didn't work. Also, this thing's a little clogged. I need to unclog it for it to work more properly. God damn it. That's fun. That's just fun and Peachy Kane. There we go. Or is it this? It's all fun. Oh, God damn. It's not this. It was this. Shit. That's not cool. Boy, ho. There we go. I like how that's all I took. Okay. Okay, then. Nope. Get on there. Get a sweet bean. There we go. And that's his bed. Boom. Figure since it came from a dispensary, it should be fine. I trust this bit more than Dope Man. Well, yeah, it's gonna be fine. It probably just means it's really fresh and, probably was harvested not that long ago. So, I mean, if anything, it's actually probably, some legit decent stuff. Oh, you're almost late, fuck. There we go. That's been bad. Called Purple Tang Haze. And it's got a lot of terps in it, and that's why. It's very terpy. Stuff I got, it's definitely got some terps in it, or it's got some flavor. It has a really good, strong smell to it. But it's not like the most flavorful thing in the world, but definitely it's got a good smell to it. Citrus. Probably has a hybrid of a citrus one in there. Because citrus is definitely a flavor that you can, get, out of, a little bit of bud. Depending on the strain, of course. Just depends on what the strain's like. I do have like these J's that one of my buddies gave to me for free, and I don't know what they are, but they're definitely really potent. I'm just like, ooh, still have a few of them left. Kind of want to smell them a little more because these definitely got a good smell to them. That used to bury bananas in the soil, used to grow stuff. Well, that's actually not a bad idea at all. That's like perfect fertilizer. It's organic, so just decompose and just like, basically just become its own compost. Imparted the taste of the banana into the weed. Probably because of the potassium that's absorbed. That'd be my guess. Still an interesting trick. If I were to grow some here, I guess for me it would be kiwis because I have a fuckload of kiwis. And because a lot of them are like dropped off the vine and shit now at this point, there's a lot of like partially eaten kiwis everywhere because all the squirrels and mice and shit want to eat them. At least, they're not, really going on inside. There was one time where I had a squirrel come inside once. So, there was that one time. Still won't get over that because they were raiding my nut stash that was in my room. And as soon as I opened the door to go, check on that squirrel platform I had set up so I could go feed him a little more, I forgot that I had the door just open a little bit or the window open a little. And I saw this big bushy tail just sticking out of a big bag of nuts. And it just poked his head out and just casually walked out like it just owned the place. She says, "Hop up." Well, hello. So I say hello back. Which, speaking of which, DFF is finishing and finalizing their Battle of Identities for America, gauntlet thing they're doing. And I must say, the Furries actually got a good run. They had a legit, really good run. First, they battled the Karens. And I was like, there's no fucking way I'm letting Karens win. I was like one of the biggest voices being like, no, the Karens are just going to bitch and whine. There isn't a Starbucks and shit like that and blah, 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 blah. And honestly, the terrain for the battle was the most hilarious thing, too. It's just the mountains of the Colorado. It's like the Rocky Mountains. Which, funny enough, actually is an advantage. Because, hey, when it's cold as fuck out in the mountains, the fursuits actually provide warmth. That's good. That, and also, like, near the end, they were about to give it to the Karens, but then they saw a video of, like, furries skiing, as well, snowboarding. And they were all just like, you know what? No, we have to give it to them now. Look on the virtue that once furries vlogged their time going skiing and shit, like and upload to YouTube, that pretty much clutched in the furries for that round. Because just casually skiing down mountains and snowboarding down mountains and shit, doing tricks and stuff. It's like, yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just like, yeah, well. I deep dived into the claims against TJ. I can say certain TJ does act like creep at times. Shocker, and hey, the sky is blue as well. News at 11. Everyone already knew this. If you're talking about like the Marshall Manson bullshit, I mean, frankly, there isn't really that much new outside of like a slightly extra evidence that he's kind of creepy occasionally. Whatever. And I like how that guy also said, he's like, I'm going to, continue making some art and stuff. But then he's still constantly going over about this shit. It's like, dude, just get the fuck over it now at this point. You made your little drop. No one gave a fuck about it. And like, whatever, take your L and move on. You know what I mean? It's like, fucking hell. Yeah, this line of shit. I mean, it's like, all in all, who cares? Happened when he was younger. Yeah, like literally most of the stuff happened when he was like a lot of it is from 10 years ago. Like, what, do you think TJ is literally the same person now? He's literally openly talked about his evolution as a person, and yeah, still being a weirdo and shit. I mean, shocker. I mean, it shows that he has had a sense of maturity, over the years. Say what you want about it, but that's just kind of the truth. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, if anything, TJ's still funny, and I like his new direction with his channel and shit. I think it's been pretty cool. So, whatever. I mean, if anything, I think he's kind of getting back to form a little bit, and it's been kind of popping off some pretty awesome videos lately. I still need to watch his newest one that I haven't seen yet. So, either way, it's what, at the end of the day, it's like, it's TJ. I mean, considering especially how much of a raunchy edgelord that he is, it's like, whatever. I mean, if anything, I'd be more worried about people like Voosh or like, shit like that. And even then, I think a lot of that's just kind of bullshit. I just like to joke about it occasionally. And like, that broader orbit of spheres of things. Like, because of, whatever other bullshit between, like, Zan and a few others, like, D-Mama hasn't, been, like, doing anything in fucking months. I actually looked on her channel lately just to see if maybe YouTube just wasn't recommending me anything of hers, and she hasn't uploaded anything in, like, months. So she's just, like, disappeared. Don't know what happened there. Outside, supposedly there were some allegations and shit, which, what the fuck ever. I mean, I didn't know anything about it, nor is it my fucking business anyway, so it's just like, I mean, at least from what I can tell from the, from when it first popped off, because it just seemed like it was like a get back, after fucking calling out Zan's bullshit, which that at least had some sincerity of actually being treated seriously, and should have at least been discussed to a certain degree. So, that has a little slight hint of burnt like paper wood from the matches. Probably better than just straight butane though, so. Jay's making me eat vegetables. What type of vegetables? Is it like onions, garlic, celery and stuff, like carrot, like, like a mirepoix, mix in a food? Dude, don't be dogging on veggies, dude. Like, bro, I put spinach in my ramen and my fried rice dishes and shit sometimes, and also like put caramelized onion. Dude, caramelized onion, bro. Don't be dogging on no caramelized onion. All you have to do is just get a little oil or a little butter. I prefer butter. I'm American. And then straight up I'll whip up some sliced up onions and shit like that. Whip those bad boys in there, or dice them up however you like them, and caramelize that shit. And then put it on like a burger or a sandwich or or anything, dude, bro. Like, you can't tell me that you will pass that shit up. I have no teriyaki sauce, dude. Caramelized onion with teriyaki sauce. It's like that, dude. Fried rice with caramelized onion, teriyaki sauce with like a little bit of carrot and like your choice of meat, dude. Right there, fire. Okay, fire. I'll just say that right now. Carrots and green beans. I'm not a fan of green beans, but dude, don't bitch on carrots. Like, carrots they're like tasteless. They don't have a taste to it, my guy. Like, plus they're like legitimately like good for you. So I don't know, like, whatever. The green beans I could understand bitching about because I don't like green beans either. And I can say that because I've actually had them and I just legit don't like them. But just saying. I mean, at the very least, give caramelized onions a try. Hey, frozen vegetables. Oh, it's one of those. Yeah, that's shitty. Yeah, I will admit that is shitty. It feels like freshly made stuff, like fried rice, carrot and green bean mix, like stir fried or something. That'd be legit. That'd actually be kind of legit. But if it's just like some Hungry Man meal shit, that's a little shitty. Just because, yeah, they're processed and they're gonna be frozen and shit. You want to get the fresh stuff. Get that fresh produce going. I could tolerate fresh veggies. Tolerate. See, I don't think you just had like someone whip up you a good dank meal with a healthy amount of veggies in it. I think someone is. I don't think you've just had like good quality meal with something like that. You know what I mean? Because dead ass, bro. Like, if you get like some stir fry going on, like like I'm talking about, especially like some stir fried rice, dude. Like, even if there's a healthy dose of fucking really, like, even if there's like a healthy dose of veg, I mean, shit, like I said, your choice of meat and sauce in there, dude, you're about to make some dank. And you know what? One of these days, once I finally get my ass, the ability to get down there and shit, dude, I'll show you up a little bit. I'll make y'all some good quality stir fry and shit, bro. I don't often make stir fry, but stir fry is good and simple. All you have to do is just grab, some basic fresh produce, a little bit of rice, get that made up and whipped up, fluffed up and shit, ready to go. And then once the rice is ready, and you got some of your caramelized veggies ready to go. And you also want to have a certain process when you put the veggies in. You want to start with like onions and like maybe some garlic and shit like that. Then put in the carrots, and then like other things like if you want to add broccoli or other veggies, then you want to put that in later. Like, because you don't want it to get overcooked to the point where it's soggy and kind of, you don't want that. So you definitely want to at least, have a system of like what you put in first before you do that. So you want to at least get like, your, like, maybe some shallots, onion, green onion too, to an extent, and like, maybe some celery and then carrot. Put that in there first, and whatever level you want. I recommend doing onions and shit like that first. And then get your rice in there. Get all that whipped up, and then put your other veggies and shit like that in there too. But if you're also having meat, then with that as well, then you want to put that in there before the rice, and then let that cook a little bit. And once you get like some basic browning, some searage and shit like that going on with the meats, then you put your rice in there, so it starts absorbing these flavors a little bit. Add some more seasonings, shit like that. And then you add some more veg, so choose, and after you got yourself a good quality fucking stir fry. The 72 ouncer. Maybe, to be honest. I am, thinking about how big this is. I'm thinking if I could expand my stomach with a liquid, like having some brews and then getting hella stoned before going, and maybe having like a basic appetizer of like, some chicken wings just to kind of help, have the gut expand a little bit and then hit that bitch. I might be able to try. I'll attempt it, to be honest. I once tried and got about halfway, had to pay for it. Well, yeah. I imagine if you don't complete it under a certain amount of time, then yeah, you're fucked. But knowing me though, I could be a fucking vacuum cleaner when it comes to food. Like I did that the other night. I literally have like a little bowl of ramen left, from last night. And I whipped up some mashed potatoes. Had like, some garlic bread that I whipped up, and also used that as a sandwich for the mashed potatoes and the ramen I made up too. And made a fat thing of ramen, like a lot of food basically, and just like almost damn near absorbed all of it within like a span, I'd say 30 minutes. Let's just be fucking frank here. And also mashed potatoes, bread, and even ramen, like that stuff fills you the fuck up. Like, so I mean, I'm just saying, I might be a skinny boy, but my gut could be big. Beer fills you too. That's what I'm saying. 30 minutes prior to getting it, like, before we walk in, because you imagine it's going to take a while for it to fucking get made and shit. You know what I mean? So I bet if we like hung out at a bar or some shit, and maybe in their smoking area, we're just like hitting the fucking vape pen hardcore or something like that, or some shit, and a little both, dude, get nice little crossfade, the munchies hit. That is when I think I might be at peak performance. Because, dude, honestly, the reason why I absorb food, right before I go to bed after my stream sometimes, at least at night, is because I got that crossfade going on, and I just like fucking, I just absorb food. All right, like, so for weed and liquor for me, well, yes, it does. I mean, the munchies hit, with weed, like that's where the munchies hit. Like, when it comes to like liquor or just beer, like I'm talking like, beer like this. Well, this isn't technically a beer, but you get my point. I'm not talking about like straight fucking liquor shots. I'm talking about like having like a can or two, or like, a couple glasses of beer, at the bar next door or some shit. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. You don't want something that's going to fuck you up just enough to get a nice crossfade, while you're stoned as fuck. And then when you're in there, you got that going on, and that's distracting you from your stomach slowly but surely filling up with just straight meat. You know what I mean? Because once you start sobering up and realizing what you're, going through, and by the near end of it, you're gonna be like, oh God, oh no. And at that point, you might want to get another glass of burr or some shit from the establishment, just so you can kind of help maybe, get a burp in there, try to like lessen and, like the expansion going on and stuff. You're gonna want to like, have a game plan going on. You know what I mean? I prefer a couple shots to have them drink nasty beer, quality over quantity. Then don't drink beer. Drink like a cider. I don't care what you want. Do whatever you want, whatever your game plan is. I'm talking about what my game plan would be going into that situation. Because straight up, like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think I could do it, but I would have to have a very particular game plan set up. Like, I would have to not eat anything for a little bit throughout the day, but, like I would say like 2 to 3 hours before, when it comes down to like, the mish, you know what I mean? That's when we start kind of getting like a little something to help fill the gut a little bit, just so I at least have something, so I'm not like just starving basically by the time I get there. And then, have a little brewski, go down to a bar for a little bit, have a few beers or some shit, play a couple rounds of pool if, they have pool or whatever. Some shit like that. Kind of, pre-game, and then once, it gets to about the last 30 minutes, maybe have a quick little shot, smoke up hella hardcore, go inside, boom. Boom. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. I had a steakhouse in mind. Well, that's I'm to see you if you eat that much. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're the one who brought it up in the first place about this 72-ounce steak. That's why I'm talking about it. Are you that high that you forgot that we were talking about this? Because we literally were just talking. That's what literally that's the topic. I still have my income though, and yes, I'm that high. Well, evidently you are that high, and I think you still will. I mean, but either way, like, and also, fuck. I mean, if I'm able to by that time, then I could too, depending on what that time ends up being. As much as I hate the heat, I even go in the fucking summer. I don't give a shit. I'd hate it, but whatever. I'd do it for the homie. The heat isn't that bad. Maybe for you, because you've been, acclimated to it. You've been climatized to heat. You had to deal with that Alabama heat and shit, which was honestly worse than the dry heat. So the dry heat probably feels like fucking nothing to you. Because you had to deal with that swamp ass heat where you got like swamp balls, and everything. A wet heat. I know, that's what I'm saying. You've been climatized to it, way more than me. And also, when it gets hot as fuck out here, it's also a wet heat because Oregon is very moist, and I also live near a fucking river. So, I mean, when it gets hot here, it gets hot because of that, humidity. That's what really fucks it up. Oregon is my dreamland, TBH. Well, with climate change making the heat waves, worse around here, I mean, at least during the summer, it can be kind of miserable. But that's why you go outdoors and go kayaking and hiking and shit like that, because it's not as bad. Because I'm not going to lie, I mean, hey, if you want to, like, help, deal with the bullshit heat around here, then that's usually the way to do it, especially kayaking. And the Barton Carver route for kayaking, at least, around, like, the broader Portland area, is really calm and fucking amazing, and plenty of spots to go swimming in too. And during the peak of summer, the water is just fucking perfect. Where climate change is gonna make that area more normal. That you mean abnormal? I mean less cold. Yeah, like that would be abnormal for Alaska to be going through is fucking straight up like heat and all that shit. And because of the permafrost, like half of fucking Alaska would just collapse in sinkholes. That's what's been happening in Siberia. Like a lot of areas in Siberia and like the fucking far cold like northern Russian regions and shit, in the Far East and stuff, like there's been a lot of permafrost loss to where some places legit just have these massive fucking sinkholes that just collapse like the land by like 20 feet and shit. It's kind of fucking nuts. Should be fine if the climate models hold, and that those are not going to hold. Anchorage should be fine. No, it won't. Especially if like fucking rich elite billionaire fucks start buying land up there, because they probably will eventually, and with oil and stuff. Yeah, I mean they're gonna fucking like straight up, if not Fairbanks. Oh my god. Yeah, then Fairbanks like isn't that a coastal town way up north or some shit? Like there are some towns in Alaska that are like on the coast where the permafrost is receding so much that where like the towns are literally getting swallowed by the sea. And the towns have to legit move. I mean, like, I don't, as much as it sounds like, oh, Alaska will just be like, like the PNW after like 50 years or something. It's like, not as much as people think. That's an inland city. Okay, well, inland city. Maybe I'm thinking of Nome or some shit. I don't fucking know. But either way, it's like, my point still stands, even if Fairbanks might not get fucked by that. But who knows? Maybe they'll be the new coastal town. It's like half of Alaska just gets eaten by the sea. So, who knows? Hopefully not, though. I kind of hope that my dog is kind of a lazy bean today, like he is right now, because if so, that makes it more likely for me to take him to the bar tonight. And if so, then maybe he won't be an asshole. Last couple times I brought him, he's been an asshole. I don't like that. I don't like him being an asshole. Disney. I have to ask Dad to just borrow the lighter, and I'll just leave it in here. Because goddamn, these are starting to kind of drive me nuts. Watching a lot of paranormal stuff on Alaska. Did you know 45% of U.S. signs in modern times happen there? I want to see that shit. I mean, to be fair, like, I mean, a lot of it is probably just due to secret military operations and shit, because I know there's a lot of different military bases out in Alaska, and I wouldn't be surprised they do a lot of testing of different equipment and shit like that. And, you know, and all that type of shit, just because there's so few people out there, you know, even if they see a UFO, so to speak, then, you know, what the fuck ever. So, I mean, and plus you got like their Aurora Borealises and all that shit. And plus, I'm sure you could probably see a lot of fucking, you know, meteorites and space debris falling from the sky. I mean, you know. Not to be the cynic. Then the entire PNW combined. Just surprised by that. I missed the first half hour of the tournament, and my phone died, so I missed how the final round went. I know the final round was between the Bacchanal crew with like the drug heads and the rednecks, and it was at the Golden Gate Bridge. That's the final battle. I don't know what the result is, but if I'm just gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure the Bacchanal wins. Dude, the rednecks are probably gonna try a pure victory shit and blow up fucking the Golden Gate. Not San Fran entirely, just specifically the Golden Gate Bridge. So I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping the Bacchanal wins, because honestly, the Rainbow Coalition should have won the last round at the Grand Canyon against them, but yet a Nat 20 fucking like peyote, you know, the Grand Canyon bussy fucking, you know, shaman visions and shit just enticed all the Rainbow Coalition. They fell to their deaths in the Grand Canyon, so that's just fucking lame. But whatever. At least the furries were beaten by the Rainbow Coalition. That's a respectable opponent to lose to. So as long as the furries beaten the Karens, that's all I care about. And I like how literally the only virtue of that was literally because there was furries who were skiing and snowboarding in full fursuits. That was literally the only reason why the furries won the first round. I'm just like, you know what? Fuck yes. I mean, because I mean, even with like Paul, who was shitting on the furries, you know, and, you know, rigged it against them from the beginning, you know, even he fucking, you know, like was like, yo, let's try to give them a little something here. They are Karens after all. Man, the weebs fucked themselves. Yeah, they did. Weebs. Also, a shitload of native folklore around it. Well, yeah, dude, there's a native folklore about it. You know, like everywhere. Honestly, if you think about it, a lot of different indigenous peoples have like different ideas about like you know Sasquatch, or like, you know, a large ape-like being like that. They all call them different names, but I think Sasquatch is the more broader than normal, like, you know, usual colloquial, at least around here in the PNW, is what's more broadly known. Outside of just, you know, Bigfoot. Bigfoot is basically just a more broader, generalized term. It's either that or Sam Squatch. Sam Squatch. The one name guy here is managed to get him to open up a little bit about folklore, and he says, take very seriously to see Bigfoot as protectors of the forest. I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, I think that's cool. I mean, I got no problem with that type of ideas or their folklore around it and shit. I just don't know if they're a thing anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of at the position now where I think they were a thing, but they eventually kind of slowly but surely just kind of died off, you know, either naturally or due to hunting, you know, or whatever the fuck. You know, or maybe just, you know, were unable to, you know, survive due to like being kind of driven from different lands because, you know, the indigenous peoples around here, you know, or like, you know, the North Americas, you know, just probably out competed them in a way or some shit like that. But that'd be my assumption as to like, you know, why there's so much like even just general folklore about it outside of just like, you know, a general zeitgeist to it entirely, because I think they probably were a thing. Whether they are anymore, I mean, I feel like, especially with modern science and all this other bullshit, like, we would have found something by now. You know what I mean? Like, skeletal remains, like scat remains, like something, you know what I mean? Maybe like an abandoned structure, like where there's no one, no human that logically would make a structure like that. Like you would think you would be finding at least some evidence by now, but like I said, maybe it's because they were a thing, but not anymore. That's why, maybe like a lot of these folklore traditions were just passed down over the generations and generations and shit, from like the early, like Siberian peoples that migrated here that probably, were in contact with those type, with those type of creatures and shit like that. You know what I mean? And, maybe there was a sense of curiosity between both parties at that time. And, and that's where that folklore kind of begun. And it just has been passed down ever since. I mean, that makes sense to me, hence why like the whole like earth flooding theory and shit, realistically, it's just folklore passed down because a lot of these different early hunter-gatherers, at the end of the Ice Age, were basically migrating to avoid a lot of floods from, a lot of these, Ice Age glaciers, melting away and shit like that. Like, because to them, their world is very tiny. So obviously they're going to assume that the whole fucking world's flooding. So it's just, to me, it's one of those things where, a lot of these, what, people consider, like either like cryptozoology superstition or just broader religious superstition. It's just really just folklore that's been passed down from like ancient peoples from like, centuries and centuries and millennia ago. Isn't it a girl, Prodigy Waterbender? I forgot her name. I know you're talking about Korra, I think. What, the Legends of Korra? Is that what you're talking about? I mean, I don't know. I'm not like a hardcore invested into that, so I'm actually not too sure which series you're on. The one with Aang, yeah, because Aang is, I know about that one. Or the Avatar is a girl. I don't fucking know. I think aliens in ancient history makes sense too. No, no, they don't. No, okay, all right. Well, I should probably just, not jump to conclusions here. But not the aliens that built the pyramid stuff. I mean, aliens might have studied caveman theories because some ancient cave art looks especially like spacemen. Well, I mean, I think a lot of that's just due to like, maybe just our lack of understanding of what, some of that means. You know what I mean? Like, because I think, maybe there was definitely a lot of like shamans or like, religious, or maybe just, certain people within the society where, hold on. I didn't want that burn out, but where, where they might have been like, very, flamboyantly, like, expressive with, different garbs that they were wearing. They might have, worn some very, crazy shit to where even in the potential norm of their time, was seen of like, whoa, what the fuck are they, what's this get up and drip and shit? I mean, because a lot of like, especially in nobility and shit like that, like a lot of ancients were very, like flamboyantly, like, extravagant with a lot of their wealth and shit. I mean, like the tombs in Egypt, right? Like, I mean, the pyramids are pretty much, a literal, like a monument to their wealth and shit. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where it could be just shit like that, where you had like, a crazy, quirky ass eccentric, dude or a group of people that just had like, some crazy visions and shit, and trying to like kind of replicate it with the garbs they wear or something. I mean, I don't fucking know. Just taking random assumptions and shit, because we get that today, right? Why wouldn't ancient humanity be that much different? Because I mean, even like ancient like graffiti and stuff like that, a lot of them also are just as like raunchy and stupid as shit today. Like you can find a Norse graffiti that's just like, I fucked Helga here. Her, like her thighs are fine, or something like that. Just some random shit, just scribbled in like some old Norse or something, or like Romans writing like dick and balls or something like that on a wall. I mean, there's a lot of random shit like that, where frankly, they weren't really that much different in comparison to us. There was still the silly, like, poo-poo fart joke, silly goofball dumb fucks like we are today. You know what I mean? Like, there ain't that much different. Also, think an encounter could have easily been inspired any of the religions that eventually. Well, sure. Or like, looking at the stars and seeing like a meteor shower, and also there's been very few times in times past where we've seen, supernova, where stars, go supernova and shit and just light up the whole fucking sky, and even during the daytime, lunar eclipses, solar eclipses. There's a lot of solar and celestial action and stuff that happens, which obviously could be explained with science, but things that obviously ancient man ain't gonna fucking understand or get. And when you have like someone who like, has like a vision, or especially if they're having like peyote or whatever the fuck, and like having a trip and they see shit like that at night, then yeah, they're gonna think, some pretty wild shit and be like, well, this is like, the gods that are speaking now and blah, 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 and that's where a lot of religion comes from. It basically comes down to like one quirky, caveman literally was like, I saw sky god. And, started speaking about what the sky god said to me, and just went from there. Do you also know if you know what a blood eagle is? Do I know what a blood eagle is? This bear shit in the woods? Bro, like, if there, look up the song Blood Eagle by Amon Amarth. I mean, like, of course I do. You take an axe and, you basically just like hold them up like this, basically with their arms wide out. And then you fucking, split their back open, break open the ribs and like spread them out. And then you just fucking, take their lungs and then fling them on their back. And that's that's the blood eagle. It's a very gruesome, fucked way to die, but, it's like, honestly, I think, the pain of it all would like be overridden on the virtue that you would basically be suffocated to death. So I don't know. Wow. Well, yeah, I told you I know what it is. It's very gruesome. And usually it's only reserved for, very certain occasions and shit like that. I didn't. You didn't know what a literal blood eagle is? I mean, like, come on, my dude. You don't, like, I figured you would have known that. Really? Nope. My guy. My dude. I'm actually a little like, what the fuck? I mean, knowing your ass, I figured you would have known something about that. Like, you serious? Okay. Well, hey, there you go, Venom. You learn something new every day, don't you? Poor Venom. He's like, I'm scared now. I'm scarred. That scared me. I don't know if I want to be here anymore. Thought Ghost Rider was a Marvel character. It is, but there's actual lore behind the idea of Ghost Rider. I don't know much about. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I know what it is. Oh no, I know exactly what the fuck Rose is talking about. It is fucked up. That is fucked. Holy shit, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Oh my god. Do we say it? Can I say what it is? Yeah, Ignore told me about it. What? Oh, okay. Should I even mention it? Can I get away with even describing it? Because it's genuinely fucked up. So there was this, well, alright, I'll just give like a somewhat family-friendly question mark version of this, if that's even possible. I mean, so there was this, so there was two cartels fighting. I forgot which ones they were. I think one of them was like the Las Zetas or maybe the fucking MS. I forgot which one. Or Sinaloa. I forget which ones were beefing with which at this time. It was like in the early 2010s. But there was a guy who was nicknamed Ghost Rider, and eventually, TLDR, guy was fucking insane and obviously a fucked up guy himself and also shit. And the reason why he was known for that because he liked to burn people to death and blah, blah, blah. So, when he was caught by the opposing cartel, they decided to be like, oh, they want to be Ghost Rider, eh? Well, let's literally make you fucking Ghost Rider, and specifically doused his head in gasoline and shit like that. And also, just to make sure he didn't die too quickly, they literally injected like adrenaline in his like jugular in here, so he would basically be alive for the entire fucking time for the most part. And you can probably guess, the rest of what happens after that. And it goes on for a long time, and the dude, because of sheer pure adrenaline, was alive for at least quite a while for it. Literally on this virtue of his veins just literally pumping adrenaline instead of blood at that point. That was pretty hot. That's hot. Yeah, very hot, yeah. Even Spidey said. Little habanero to that. But that's just the TLDR version. Before they did that, they were like torturing him too on top of that. So it's like, I mean, that's not like the only thing they did to him. Like they fucked him up like immensely before they gave him that treatment because they weren't sure if he was gonna live for it or not. So they wanted to at least, make him feel at least a little something before, But even then, he still survived for that too. And it's just, I'll be, even with the adrenaline, I'll be trying to force my body to just give up. Imagine if instead of someone become Ghost Rider by bargaining with the devil, it's due to someone and playing gasoline to match someone's head. You said Venom, you owe me a smoothie? You are invited to my Filipino Thanksgiving. You almost spelled Filipino right. There's no A. There's no A there. That's just another I. Well, actually, also, it's, I think, also, instead of PH, it's F. It's weird. Like, if you're saying Filipino, it's with an F, but if you're saying, like, the Philippines, it's with PH. I don't make the rules. That's just how it is. But, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter that much. Is it on the same day as normal Thanksgiving? What's on the menu, ask? All right, well, I'm going to make sure that I'm watching my dog extra hardcore for the net, once Thanksgiving comes up, at least for a Filipino one, because if that's the case, then I'm going to make sure that there's no survivors, for whomever tries to acquire my dog for that, just to letting you know ahead of time, Venom. It's like G.I. Robot after he made friends with his buddy, but he realized he went to a Nazi convention. He's like, oh boy, Nazis. All right, well, time to die. It's like, all right, well, that's unfortunate. But ironically, we need G.I. Robot these days. And I like how Mornax's only comment so far was just dick butt. He didn't say anything else. He just said dick butt, didn't elaborate, and now he's just lurking. I'm not MAGA. Well, I'm not saying G.I. Robot for you, dipstick. I'm saying that for, like, just the general state of affairs, my guy. Man, Venom really is high, isn't he? They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the ferrets, they're eating the raccoons. That's why we gotta deport him. We just gotta get him out of here. Gotta get him out of here. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. It's very sad, folks. It's very sad, folks. They're eating the dogs. I love the stream image. You look like maybe meme chick. I want to click that right now. Send out to me on Discord. It'll be easier for me to, look at it. If I click links on here, it fucks YouTube up a little too much. Mornex is right. Wait, what? Okay, now I really gotta see. Yeah, Discord me. I want to look. What? I want to see now. Oh, no, I'm high. Damn. What dumps? All right, there we go. All right. Let's check it out real quick. Oh, that's literally my thumbnail I took. I know I had that. I know, that was the point. I thought you were talking about actually sending the meme itself. Like, send me the meme. I want to see the comparison. I mean, you can't just send the fucking thumbnail I took specifically. I know I had that. I know that was the... Yeah, goof. Yo, goofy dipstick. I think Danny Sapko is kind of getting in my brain because I like saying dipstick now because of him. You bloody dipstick! Cracks knuckles. I'll get to work. I mean, that's what I thought you were sending. I mean, if you're sending just like my thumbnail that I took, then yeah, I knew that. Despite having weed, I still need to, help ration my shit, so I have to do this disgusting nonsense. Alright, good, you're not clogged. Besides, you're not bringing Zoo here, so you're good. Well, or we're gonna eat Chase Dog. Well, I'm gonna, in her honor, battle you, with combat, with, Mortal Kombat, and fucking, defend that doggo. What did that dog ever do to you? Don't be a jerk. That dog has been nothing but a sweet bean. It is a bean of sweetness, and I will not hear anything else about it. Speaking of little bean, I want to try to see if I can get Zukov, harnessed up and shit. She's 11, so that just means we got to protect her further. She's an old sweet bean, and she doesn't want to be fucked with. Man, I'm really pissed at the Weebs because it reminds me how much the Liberals going to have victory practically guaranteed, and yet they do every conceivable thing wrong to lose. I unfortunately did not catch that round. Can you give me a gist of what happened with that when they lost? Because I got the round where they beaten against the Rednecks, in the bog out of all places, or like the fucking Dixie fucking Confederates or whatever. Like the Dixie Dominion. Like, I saw that, which honestly is fucking amazing, and I love how Weebs basically commit, like, Viet Cong tactics to kill off the fucking Dixie Confederation. That is probably the best way for, like, Neo-Confederates to die off. It's like, get all the Weebs together, they just channel their inner VC, and just fucking, like, make them start saying, they're in the trees, man! And make them all freak out and like, start. And a few of them might be Vietnam vets too in that neo-Confederate bullshit. So them motherfuckers gonna be like, I'm reliving Nam! Oh shit! Like, they're gonna be freaking the fuck out. Oh man, that'd be amazing. What if I'm trying to correct Paul? So is Vosh gonna be hostile to himself now? Yeah, I agree. We need to be hostile. Yeah, so what? Does he need to be hostile with himself? Because Vosh is straight up a fucking lib, dude. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, dude, he was talking shit about people going to Red Note. It's like, dude, what? Huh? Why do you think people are, like, going over there and being like, oh, shit, there's a lot of cool fucking, things about China that, bursts my bubble with American propaganda. And basically the TLDR and Vosh critiques, like, this basically going to make people into tankies to think that, like, China's great and based, my guy. And it's like, no, it just means that when it comes to the people of China and the culture that they represent and shit, when it comes to that type of shit, like, a lot of the perception of the propaganda against people, from China and shit has been kind of bursted a little bit. That doesn't mean their government's good. It just means that, people actually have a better understanding about like what the people of China are like. And, for a lot of them, they realize they weren't really too much different from us. And besides, with TikTok being back anyway, I think it was like a short-lived little thing anyway. I don't really think Red Note's taking off in the US anytime soon. Just because TikTok's back anyway, so it's like whatever. Yeah, you might get people sticking around and shit, but I mean, unless like TikTok actually does get banned, but chances are it probably won't. The leaves in the comments are like, actually, Paul, Avatar The Last Emperor is not an anime. Paul did a 180 and the weebs got butt fucked like no one's business. You know what? Good. Unironically, you know what? Good. Actually, in a weird way, because the weebs had to fucking, make a peep. I was making a peep in the comments. Like, I mean, even I got called out when the Rainbow Coalition and the fucking, furries were up against each other. And you know what? I was okay with it. I was like, and I even said, you know what? I'm into the rubber pup leather daddy bullshit, so I could just blend into the Rainbow Coalition and I'll survive. I'm one of the smart furries that'll just like detach the furriness of my, like pup side or whatever and just go from there, you know what I mean? I don't know if Zukov is agreeing or disagreeing with this. I watch enough Sentai to know the difference between West stuff and Eastern stuff. It's not anime, it's Western animation. It's in the style of anime. I mean, when it comes to the artwork of it, it's in the style of anime. And I think that, like, dude, there's like Western artists that make anime too, dude. I think at this point, there's a blend. I mean, not all animes come from Japan, okay? I mean, because technically, if you really want to be, okay, let me actually you a little bit. The short form of anime is the long form of anime is animation. Like, anime is just a shortened version of animation because it is basically, referring, at least in its origins, to Japanese animation. That was, the nickname, the Japanese art style of animation. And now, like, at this point, anime is such a big common thing to where there's even Western artists that create anime, at least in the form of, like, Japanese-style animation. That's basically what anime means. It's the Japanese style of art, when it comes to animation. So I'm all to fucking actually argue about that. I'm not even a big anime head, but I mean, I don't know, with the evolution of what anime has become now versus what it was back in like the 80s and 90s or whatever the fuck, like it's different now. It's not just strictly a Japanese thing or like a broader, like Eastern art thing. Did nukes were a mistake because anime? I agree with Vosh. I mean, broke a clock right twice a day. Because them motherfuckers are already into weird kinky shit, when it came to like octopi and technicals and shit like that, they're already a little fucked up and those nukes made it worse. Fuck you, Truman. Truman! Like, fuck you. At least FDR was willing to just like blockade them and, I don't know if it'd be better, but, starve them to death, I guess. I mean, but then the war probably would have lasted way fucking longer, but it just would have been a war of attrition, and obviously we knew who was going to win that battle. Plus the Soviets would have gotten involved anyway, and they were already planning to invade, Japan by the time those were getting dropped. That's the reason why they were dropped mainly, if you think about it. We didn't want those dirty commies, having like a split, state like Germany, so we got to like, make Japan surrender first before the Soviets get any set in stone when it comes to Japan. But North-South, like how North Korea and South Korea are a thing, we would have had literally the same thing in Japan, which ironically enough, as much as it's not talked about, and during the 70s and 80s, like Japan had a very strong movement of communism and leftism that rose up a lot, at that time. And funny enough, at least, when it comes to political parties that have the most amount of power when it comes to communists, Japan actually has the number one. They're at like 5% of like the national popular vote when it comes to votes and elections and shit, which for a communist party, Actually, it's not bad at all, honestly, because usually most of them are just obscure little like organizations and groups and little weird fractured chapters and shit. Like most of them don't have any real foothold in a lot of countries and shit like that when it comes to the political action and being in like seats of government and shit. But in Japan, they actually have a handful of legit straight communists that are in there. And a lot of it, I think, why they gain traction is because they, have kind of like their brand of it is more about like, scientific, like techno communism, if that makes sense. Like, they want to incorporate a lot of, like modernized technology, like things like automation and stuff like that into like a communist format where it's like we reap the means of production from the automation that is produced from these factories, stuff like that. Like they've kind of like, in a way, like, they kind of, have kind of upgraded their the idea of it to fit in the modern world a little bit to where I think that's why they get some success. And if anything, maybe leftists could probably take some notes from them a little bit from that, because it must be doing something right, to be able to at least have enough of a foothold there still, after all these years of of anti-communist shit, especially considering how far right Japan is if you really think about it. Because they also recognize the war crimes that Japan did and denounces those crimes and stuff. Like, that's probably another reason why they don't have as much popularity, because of how ingrained shit like that is there in Japan. Like, it's a weird little conundrum, but, hey, they still got at least something. I can at least give them that. I'll take a little cheers to them on that one. Kind of no reason why I like Japan, because I mean, there's still elements, of like socialistic tendencies within the populace there. I think there's definitely like a major like mix of things going on with the youth between stuff like that, kind of like how it is going on over here to an extent, especially when it comes to like the work economy. Oof, way worse than here. Japan never apologized to China. I know. I remember that fucking picture of Shinzo Abe in like a fucking military fighter jet or some shit, where he was like, doing that in the cockpit, but literally on the number for the unit of the aircraft was 731. They literally rub these war crimes in people's faces. It's like, we're not gonna, acknowledge we ever did it in the first place or denounce any of it, but we're gonna rub it in too. Fuck you. They're always like that, honestly. That's why I'm like kind of got mixed feelings about Japan. Mostly on like the broader like kind of social governmental side of like, that type of shit. Fuck them for that. Plus, they're also like weirdly racist towards other Asian people. Like, I mean, that's also another thing too. But sadly enough, I mean, a lot of these fucking countries over there, like China, Korea, like a lot of them have that weird fucking like leanings, but just for like Korea or like the Han Chinese or whatever, like it's really weird. Makes a Klansman look like a fucking civil rights advocate. I mean, seriously, I'm not even joking. I mean, it's like it's a little fucked, when it comes to stuff like that. Especially with this weird sense of like trying to westernize themselves too, because that also includes that weird racial supremacy shit like I'm talking about. Like more, whiter, fairer skin, for being an Asian person is seen as more attractive in comparison to being like one of the darker skinned Asians that are like rural in the rural countries, because it makes you look like a peasant kind of thing. Like, especially in China, like that's genuinely a weird fucking social, like racial shit, cultural thing that they got going on. It is fucking weird. I'm not even kidding. It is a very strange thing, because like it's not the same like weird white supremacist racial nationalistic fervor that we see here, at least in America or even in Europe to an extent. Like, I mean, it's kind of its own weird, unique like worm of racist bullshit. It's just, to me, it kind of flabbergasts me, because like, because to me, I'm not even gonna lie, I mean, this is not even like out of anything, but like like more like darker Asians kind of look more cute in my opinion. Like, I mean, when they look like a nice thin layer of like white powder all over their body, for some reason or some shit, and look like they're like weirdly pale, like it looks like they're sick or something. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, huh? I'm more like, are you okay? Do you need like, are you ill? Do you need medication, antibacterial meds or something? Like, why do you look so pale? Like, are you sick or something? Like, I'm thinking the other direction. I'm like, is there something wrong with you? Are you okay? But maybe that's just my broader preference for, more, more like, like darker leaning, complexions and shit like that. Because I mean, I do find, women of a darker complexion way more attractive. I mean, the only exception would be like, I don't know, maybe like Finnish women or like fucking, like Irish, gals and shit like that. I mean, beyond that, like, I mean, I definitely have a lot more of an attraction towards, darker complexions. Because, I don't know, there's something about those beauties, of those type of people that just, it's just a little something. I like it. You got jungle fever. It's fuck you. No, it's because honestly, especially in my experience around here, like, I mean, like, dude, like, especially when it comes to like Hispanic women or like, Arabic women, Persian women, or or other different complexions, like African American women around here, dude. Holy fuck! Like, I swear, there's not one that is not beautiful. You know what I mean? Dude, it's kind of fucked. It's absurd. And half the time, they, usually have other shit going on, or they're not, available, or whatever the fuck, or they're already taken. It's like, God damn it. Or I got my own shit I need to worry about. Shit like that. It's like, fuck. Sounded like you said, like, fish women. I'm like, go on. Now I'm worried about you, my friend. Fish woman? What, you like them a little fishy and scaly? What's going on there? What's happening? Wait, what? Wait, what's going on there? What the fuck? Damn. Okay. All right, more. Damn, I'm the furry, and even I'm like, whoa. I could get like, a little dragon daddy or some shit, or like a dragon mommy, with the scales and shit, but like, I don't know. Asian persuasion, jungle fever, salsa fever, fish woman. I'm in them all. Well, so am I. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I'm equal opportunity defender. I'm like a Freddie Mercury stats with that. Like, I'm all about free love and all that shit anyway. But, like, I mean, fish woman, that is honestly sounds low-key kind of racist. Now that, the Asian persuasion, jungle fever, fish woman, like, I mean, that sounds a little, I don't know. What about the Shadow of Mordor? What were we doing here, Venom? The opposite of Sauron's ring, silver with a blue inscription. I need the ring you get in that game. I'm seeing shit with those nice juicy fish lips. You mean duck lips? I call them duck lips because it's like that, like constantly. Yeah, I'm not as into that. I mean, there's a balance. If it's like naturally plump lips, because I say women with naturally plump lips, but there's some that they're doing a little something, like a little Botox, I think, or some shit. But like if it's like they're like thick in all the right areas, and maybe they got a little extra set, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to their weight, and that kind of adds to their face a little bit, makes it kind of cute, stuff, and those lips are accentuated, with that a little bit. I'm okay with that, but if it's straight up like, like full on fat, like lips and shit, I'm like, I don't know. There's a little too much of that going on. A little too much. I'm kind of like, balanced as all things are meant to be. I'm kind of about that with it, because, there are definitely some, and guys too a little bit, but also kind of like, so that, are, and they're able to afford a little extra, little something, something. They do that, and stuff, and like add a little extra, or maybe add a little expansion to the cleavage stuff. And I'm kind of like, whatever. But I'm kind of a little like, just a smidge, because I kind of like it all natural a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna dog on it inherently, but hey, like I said, I got preferences. I've seen so many short little since I've been living in Albuquerque. You're in the Southwest. No shit. I mean, even though I live in a PNW, there's a lot of them out here too. But hey, guess what? It just adds to the diversity and culture and the beauty of this place, as far as I care. I mean, what I'm talking about is kind of validating now if you think about it. I mean, because straight up, there's like some beautiful, like, Afro-American Don mommies out there, and Latino Don mommies out there. I'm just like, ooh. Dude, I was at the Badlands the other night, when I was hanging out at PDX and shit, and there was a trans woman doing like a little drag dancing and shit, in their little dance floor area. And I was just like, shit. It's like, all right. I mean, and straight up was like taller than me, like at least by a couple inches, and curves in every fucking right area. I was like, motherfucker. I'm just like, oh shit. Jones to support all trans people. Support all trans people. Well, hey, at least, like, dude, we're in Portland. It'll be a sanctuary fucking state and city, okay? Like, we're gonna quite literally be like an American sanctuary for a lot of, like, queer folk, women, pretty much anybody that's gonna probably or probably not be targeted by the Trump administration, was probably gonna literally be everybody in one way, shape, or form. So, I mean, think about that old quote. First, they came for the communists, and I said nothing. Then they came to the socialists, and I said nothing. They went to the trade unions, and I said nothing. Then they came for the Jews, and I have said nothing. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to stand for me. I mean, yeah, I forgot exactly who said that quote, but, always a good quote to kind of, think about, especially, lately. Gonna take a little pepis and come back and do a little time check, because I want to do a little karaoke now. Steps. Okay. Block. Grab this little harness leash so it's ready to go for him. Little bean dip. Yeah, look at you. Wagging a little tail, a little bean dip. Chair. Sit in the chair. Hey, buddy. You dumb dirt. Chair. Get over here. Get over here and sit in the chair, damn it. Whoa, damn. Got some moves on that. Hold on. Let me get him real quick. Get Crazy Bane. Hey, you crazy insane Bane. you fucking drifted on that, my guy. All right, hold on. Ah, damn it. I'm gonna try to see if I can scoot him back over here. Yeah, sit down, please. Yeah, that makes it easier. Oh my god, dude, you're heavy, bro. There we go. Ugh. Good boy. Oh, look at you. Wait, hold on. No, not me. You. Oh, good boy. Good little booby. Good little booby. Look at you. Sweet little bean. Sweet little bean. Oh, hair scratches, face scratches. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Oh, sweet bean. Look at all that flab. Look at that nut. Look at the nut. Yeah, it's a little furry nut. Ugh. He's like, stop touching my neck. Stop touching my nut. My dog does straight up have like a little nut going on though. Look at that. Look, he's got a little nut. Look at that. It's just super furry. He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. He's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. It's like, quit playing my nut. What the fuck? Oh my god. What a goofy little shit, dude. Excuse me, you're not ready to leave yet, you dumb fuck. It's 8:45. It ain't that late. Terry don't start at 9, but I do want to at least, show up a little early. Just a little bit. I meant to say train people. You mean hobos? You do realize, like, the origin of hobos are literally just, like, poor working farmers that literally had to fucking, like, escape west because they had nothing because of the Dust Bowl and shit like that. Like, that's more originated towards, like, literal Americans that had, like, family farms and shit. If that's what you meant by trade people. And also, in a weird way, as fucked as it is, there's plenty of Latino people that live in this country that have been naturalized citizens for multiple generations. But at the same time, it's kind of immensely fucked that, like, I'm kind of thinking that, honestly, like, there's going to be some... If things continue the way they're going a little bit, I have a feeling shit's going to pop off pretty fucking quick. Anyone else get that feeling a little bit? Because I know for sure, like, if, things start popping around in Portland, like, people around here ain't going to fuck around with it. I know that much as it is. I mean, we already kind of were starting to stir shit up, and, like, literally the night of the inauguration. So, I mean, like, I don't really think, that's going to be much of a question whether we're going to or not over here in PDX. But I'm kind of wondering, like, would it pop off here? Like, I'm wondering what city, where shit's going to be pushed too far to where it literally pops off, and then it becomes a national fucking thing. And I don't know, for me, my guess is probably going to be in Portland in a way. Because, Trump's got a little bit of a vendetta out here, including his whole fucking lackeys and shit. Even me out and about doing my shit today, there's some stupid little fuckball little bitch, drive around, with his fucking little Trump 2020 flag and, hanging out in his fucking flatbed. I mean, there's fucking, MAGA Nazi fuckballs over here too. I mean, so... frankly, it's like, ultimately, they're definitely going to probably want to do some bullshit. And, like, at the end of the day, we're going to be around here to fuck them up, because, like, Portland means business. Like, one of the few cities that were sticking out during 2020, during those protests, was Portland. Like, we were the one place that were sticking out, up until at least, right before fucking Biden took office, basically. Even shortly after he took office, too. Or if he's still sticking it out. So, I mean, it's like, with that in mind, I mean, especially with a lot of these people being like, now kind of heartened, to a lot of this type of shit, including me. Like, I mean, I've learned a lot, from last time. And what, you think we're going to come ill-prepared this time? Like, give me a break. Plus, you got places like Seattle and, a few of these other, like, blue bastion kind of cities, especially where ICE happens to, be, having a presence in, like, in Portland or in Seattle. I mean, it's only a matter of time until something pops the fuck off, including maybe even at like a school or some shit too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like kids, protecting their friends, where their parents happen to be, migrants and shit, where they might, stand up for the shit. I wouldn't be surprised if kids in high schools and shit like that, start fucking taking no bullshit and start fighting cops and ICE agents. Because I was kind of thinking about that, because I know there's like a lot of people that have, made like really good friends, with a lot of kids that were born here, but, their parents weren't migrated here and shit, where they could potentially be targeted. And there's even been some teachers in different school districts, at least throughout the country so far, that even some of them have openly said that, like, we're not going to help it. We're going to do a lockdown where they can't get in unless they want to break into school. So there's kind of like, if anything, this whole like shit with ICE and stuff right now, it's just making people like turn against Trump. Even like with my buddy Brian and stuff, like, because him and I were talking about that a little bit, and he realized, like, what the fuck is this? Like, when it came to like deporting illegals, I didn't think this is what the fuck he meant, kind of shit. It's like, I kind of get that premise a little bit, but it's like, and even then I don't agree with it. But it's like, I mean, that at least, hey, if it's going to be like a very fat, disgusting cyanide pill that you're about to fucking swallow, then you might as well, stop, where you're heading now when it comes to that type of shit. Even if you initially thought it would be a good idea. I mean, because, even for it's like, what the fuck is this kind of shit? Like, this is not right. This isn't good. And plus, like, both of us, know plenty of people who were, like, were obviously great fucking people. So I know plenty of them. Like, I'm thinking, to like, former coworkers and, old friends I've had in the past where they would likely be directly impacted by shit like this, like overtly. That was a spicy meatball. Spicy meatball. Are you speaking of Brian, he's calling me right now. I'll text him later. He can wait. You fucking manhole. He's like, where you at? You on your way? I guarantee you that's what it is. I already told him around the time I'd be there, and he's already like, what the fuck? Really? Fine yet? Like, come on, bro. Impatient little manhole. He kind of is a man whore, though, I'm not even gonna lie. I thought Tyler was a man whore, but this guy is like straight dead ass through and through man whore. Like, straight up. Wait, what the hell? I only have one match. Wait, was that just in here? I thought I... Oh, no, he wasn't. Oh, he was earlier, though. Fuck. God damn it. Well, I'm waiting on that, then. God damn it. Well, I have to wrap it up after that last match. Well, either way, I'm definitely going to go karaoke night anyway. And we'll be back, for that, too. For the fun of it. Can't wait for the fails to reach peak failure. I think it's going to happen sooner than people think. I mean, honestly, considering Like, this isn't what? Like, this isn't even the first week. This isn't even a weekend. We're like on like hump day when it comes to this shit for the first week. Like, it's the 24th now. I mean, yeah, it's if this is already happening, then Jesus Christ, the next 4 years are going to be ridiculous. I'll admit, like, a part of me is kind of excited, but also like dreading it a lot because I mean, at this point, I literally think it's like an 8-ball, like, you know, fucking like roulette bouncy fucking thing going on. Like, it's like a mixture of fucking chaotic energy that I really can't predict that much of what's going to happen, at least in the next couple years. I'm just kind of egging on the 2028 general strike. I mean, that much I know it's going to happen regardless of what happens, but who knows? Maybe we'll have a general strike sooner than that. I mean, like, just considering the general state of affairs. At this rate, like, who the fuck knows? And like, seriously, it's like going to be a big box, like a big box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes you might get a box, you know, of chocolates where you pick one out, you might get a little bit of salmonella. Might get another piece of chocolate, might have some cyanide. You get another piece of chocolate out of that box, and you might just get yourself a little bit of laxative. Our nation just got done a little bit of a Forrest Gump status. We're so Gump now, if anything. Not only are we beyond, you know, the intelligence of Gump, but we are now sub Gump. We've gone below the IQ level of Gump. I want the chocolate that had the laxative. Okay, now I'm just being cruel. Now I'm just being awful. Damn. Our country has become sub Gump. Not even Gump would fucking like, yeah, dude. If we had Forrest Gump as president, you can't tell me that would actually be better than like what we have in the last like what, like 8-9 years. I mean, you know, like in the last like 8 to 9 years, you can't tell me that, like, you know, honestly, if Forrest Gump was serving since 2015 to 2020, you can't tell me the country would be better off. It would. It unironically would. I'd rather Forrest Gump be president, you know, and somehow due to like, you know, change to the Constitution, he fucking like gets a third term because fuck it. Yeah, then I'd be okay with that too. It'd be way better. You can't tell me it wouldn't. You can't tell me it wouldn't. You know it would. I actually even want to hear an argument if anyone got one. I mean, even a devil advocate one. I'll even take that. Like, as I tell you what now. Because, dude, you know, even if you got some yes and weirdos that are just like, you know, convincing him one way or the other, I mean, he's too much of like an everyday man motherfucker. He'd rather, you know, like, you know, hang out with people and all that. You know, he'd rather do that shit. You know, like, be like, you're talking too much complexity. I don't, he wouldn't even say that. It's like, your words I don't understand. I do want to just like talk to some people on the ground and stuff. I want to talk to them what they want. So like, you know, he wouldn't fuck be listening to some like foreign advisor. He'd be listening to some random yokel on the ground and, you know, be convinced by like a hippie or something. Oh, come on. Wow, my luck. And the last one literally was just... The last one was a dud. It literally disintegrated when I tried to... I'm a stoner. I know how I can fucking get a light. You know what? I have this torch over here. Do you still have juice? I know your bitch ass gotta have some juice. Come on. I gotta have some... Can you even fire? Shut up. You know, stoners, we are immaculate when it comes to fucking getting a fire going, okay? Fuck you. Oh, hold on. Maybe I have to... Yeah, there we go. Hold on. Yes! Come on. Come on. Ah! Got it, bitch. Yeah, bro, can I even fire? Yeah. Yeah, I can. Just enough. That's enough. Like right here, what I got going on is enough. Please don't fucking jinx it for me, you piece of shit. Just keep. I got it fucking worked out. I made it work. All right, now we're gonna watch me struggle with the Doge while we get his harness on. Because now I at least have that, then that gives me an excuse to have a little bit more. Bam. Let me grab his little harness over here. Because it is legit, unironically, a struggle to get this fucking stupid thing on him. He's right over there, right? Yep, you're over there. Hello, buddy. Hi, Bean Bean. Oh, you stretch Bean. And yeah, see, oh my God, look at you. Yeah, see, you're ridiculous. Oh wow, you're actually being a good boy about this. Oh, good little pop. Yes, you is. Oh my goodness. Make sure it's all right. Yes. Boop. Oh, here, let me put that on so you can see these cute little fucking stickers or little patches. Cascaded flag, tactical patch. His little name right there, being cute. Little capybara. I need to like glue this or get a new patch of this one because that's yeah. Then over here, and also the patch of where I got it from, Team K9, because they're good little establishment. Yeah. But I need to get a new vest because this thing's getting kind of worn. Ugh. But also, there's one more little patch right here. Yeah, see, this is another reason why. Hey, well, hello. Because I have that. But, excuse me. I'm trying to show something off here, you dipstick. But I have that one too, which is also the same thing in the back of my background stuff. Ugh. God, it was being a dipstick. A bloody dipstick. But yeah, basically that patch is just that. But just a patch form. Message retracted. What was that? That's my good luck incantation. Ignis Tuus Magnus Effux. I probably butchered that, but whatever. Oh, now you're all ready to go. Look at you. He's like, hey, you put this on me. Are we leaving? Okay, now I don't want to have to deal with him, so now I definitely going to have to get this last ball going. Oh, now you're scratching at the... Don't be doing that, you little bitch. Don't be doing that. What's wrong with you? Actually, what? Hold up. He could be patient. He could wait. Doing this real quick. Me. Yeah, can I help you? This little turd, bro. Oh my God. May your fire be large and successful. Well, hopefully it'll do that for a second time. Hopefully. Oh, I'm talking now you want to. Okay. Come on. Asshole. I literally see juice in here. There should... Come on. Shut up. Don't even start. There we go. Just like candle. That's what I do in times of need. Well, I don't have a candle around me, unfortunately, or else I would just do that. But we got it figured out now. So, anyway, let's go good. I'll probably most likely be back, to do a little karaoke streaming and all that fun shit. So, without further ado, come back a little later and all that fun shit. So, see you in a little bit.